Hi there, today we're going to talk about the third and final deluxe edition of Paper Girls. So, this is the third and final deluxe edition of Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chang. It concludes the story that we've been following in the previous two deluxe editions up to this point, and it's a great conclusion, I think. Before we get into talking about the book, though, just have a little bit about the actual construction. You got this nice white and sort of hot pink cover with some silver accents on the back. I think they're really nice. It's a nice collection of books to see on the shelf, to be honest. It's also incredibly well put together. Like with all Image books, you don't get a dust jacket, which is absolutely fine. I'd rather have just a nice quality binding, which you do get with this again. It opens perfectly well, it's got a nice side, it reads totally flat, and it's a lovely sewn binding. You feel like you've got your money's worth with this book. Now, all that said, let's have, one more thing, it's got nice thick pages in it as well. The pages feel quality. Sometimes you get, say, an omnibus and the pages feel like you might rip them if you turn the pages. This, no, not a problem. Anyway, let's have a look in the book and talk about the story a little bit without too many spoilers. So, book 3 picks up right at the end of book 2 when we're looking at these deluxe editions. The girls are in a future world where they've got a double of one of them there from somewhere further in the future. I think it's year 2000, but not this future. They quickly try and orientate themselves in this world and find that they can get around a bit easier than they actually thought. There's nice things with a library still existing, but it's essentially a digital tree of knowledge. The characters begin to realise things about each other, such as how their relationships are going to work, and all the pieces that were laid out in the first two deluxe editions start coming together, and they come together in a satisfying way that never feels forced and always makes you feel as though it's the natural way things were going to pan out. You get these sort of nice bits of future tech worked into the story without it being sort of laboriously put in there, and you find out different character motivations. Now, this isn't sort of all happy days as far as the story goes. There's loss and decisions that have to be made. I don't want to say exactly what happens because that would spoil surprises in the story, because it does move at a real pace. You get the girls having to sort of forge their own future. There's a showdown between all the various parties, and there are more than one interested party in the girls. And if you put a little bit of thought to the story, all the time travelling and how it all ties together, it does make sense. I felt like it was a satisfying conclusion to the series, and it leaves it ambiguous enough at the end that you'd like to think these girls are going to go off and have fun together and remain friends, even though there's something that happens in the very last bit of the story that may indicate otherwise. You get some nice cover art in the back as extras. You get some information regarding how they came about the sort of future language, let's say the alien future language in there. You also get how they designed the Paper Girls title font, which again is interesting. When you couple it with all the extras you get in the other books, it really does sort of feel like a lot of care and attention went into this, particularly when a lot of the artwork is very graphically designed. The book's put together really well, it reads really well, it opens really well. As with a lot of these Image hardcovers, there's no dust jacket, but it feels like a sturdy, well-made purchase. The print quality is great, and the paper is really thick and puts other sort of deluxe editions or omnibuses to shame. Okay, so that's the insides of the book and a bit on the story. I think that this is a great series if you're into sci-fi and adventure. If you grew up in the 80s or early 90s and you want that kind of nostalgic feel, get this. That's what it's obviously aimed for. The artwork's consistent and great, and it's incredibly well planned out. Things all come together at the end, and I really like that. And I think they could have just sort of shit the bed at the end. They didn't really. You've got a good conclusion, but then enough little bit of ambiguity even to keep you guessing and just give you a little bit of thought. Let me know what you think about the series. Are you looking forward to the TV show coming out? Do you think they're going to ruin it? I think if they try and drag it out too long, they will ruin it. Remember, the whole of this story takes place over like a day and a half, maybe. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that. I can see them maybe getting 5 to 6 episodes out of that, but beyond that, I think it's going to get a little bit wishy-washy, maybe. We'll see. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Check out the Instagram and the website. On the website, there are reviews on things you wouldn't necessarily find on this channel, such as single issues and some other stuff. Please have a look, and thanks for watching.